It's a memorandum of understanding. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing.
Are you happy with the deal, Mr. Trump?
The deal's all signed, and the strait is already partially open. Friday, it'll be completely open.
We know the president has signed it, the vice president has signed it, Iran's chief negotiator has signed this deal. But really, outside a handful of people, the details of this are still secret. That's because the actual text of this memorandum of understanding has not been publicly released yet. What is your sense of why the full text of this, if it's only a page and a half, as the vice president says, has not yet been made public?
This agreement looks essentially like a surrender. These are Iran's terms. It's an embarrassing document. It's a humiliation of Trump by the Iranians.
Here's what it says. Iran will never have a nuclear weapon.
I was like, I've never had a setup at an interview like this. How are you? Nice to meet you. Mr. Prime Minister, you said coming into the summit, Iran was the #1 topic for the world leaders here to discuss. What is your assessment of this preliminary agreement between Iran and the U.S.?
Well, I came in with that as the #1 topic. I have to say it's exceeded my expectations. We're very pleased with the deal that's been struck. Of course, it has to be followed through. It has to be implemented.
Did you actually see the agreement itself?
I've seen the agreement, yes.
So the president showed it to you?
We have our sources, just like you.
Well, we haven't seen it publicly. It hasn't been released. Is it true it's about a page and a half?
It is a reasonable length for an agreement which, in effect, is a cessation of hostilities. It's a ceasefire.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Kayla.
Really appreciate it.
Roll Tide.
Yeah, roll tide. I love that.
They are taking a step.
Does it make sense to you why the administration has still, 48 hours later, not released the text of that agreement?
I don't know how we're going to have greater leverage over what remains of that terrorist regime in Iran.
It sounds like you think, from what we know so far, this is a mistake.
Well, it's much bigger than a mistake.
Someone is going to stand in front of this shot. I just feel it. Oh, God, here's the president.
On Sunday, we reached an agreement with Iran that achieves everything we set out to accomplish, everything and much more. We'll be giving this out so you can read it and you can see. If we didn't do this deal, we could have dropped more bombs for another 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks.
Mr. President, why are you backing off your initial goals, Mr. President? The president said if the talks don't go the way he likes, that the United States will resume bombing in the next 60 days, but he made clear that there's not really an appetite for doing so. He did ultimately sign the document, actually again tonight. His aides posted this video of the president putting that signature on a hard copy of the agreement as he was having dinner with the French president at the Palace of Versailles. Now that we've seen the confirmed copy of this agreement, what are your first thoughts?
Looking at this, such as it is, it's really as if the United States is unconditionally surrendering.
Iran has committed before to not having a nuclear weapon, so why do you trust them now?
This is the first time that they've signed a document. This is a trust but verify program that we've offered them.
Senator, are you okay with Iran having missiles?
I would prefer they didn't. I think that they have to be able to defend themselves.
You think Iran needs to be able to defend itself?
I do. I think that they have to be able to defend themselves. Otherwise, we turn this into a forever war.
I've seen skeptics of the deal. People say the Iranians will never change their behavior. Well, maybe that's true, and if so, they don't get any of the benefits of the bargain. But isn't it worth trying?
The New York You were 7 years old when the Knicks won their last championship. What was it like today to not only go to the parade, but to be part of the parade for them?
The last few days have been like a dream, like a blur. It's crazy. I honestly didn't think it was going to be this intense. It kind of links everybody together, and as you can see, it's a unifying thing for the city. It's been beautiful.
We're doing very well with Iran. They've been decimated, and we're making a deal with them, and we'll see how that all goes.
Mr. Secretary.
We also fixed the reflecting pool. In fact, if you go over there right now, it looks very good. They put, somebody said fertilizer in the water. If you put fertilizer in the water, you get algae, and it'll be back to health pretty soon. Thank you.
President Trump's claims about Iran's ballistic missile capability just aren't adding up. One of his stated goals was to destroy Iran's missile capability in its entirety.
We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally obliterated.
Then, as the war continued, the president argued that the U.S. was close to achieving that goal.
How are you?
At the G7 summit in France, he made the stunning case that actually Iran should be able to have ballistic missiles.
I mean, they have to have some because other people have some. You got to have some.
Now the president is back to claiming that Iran's missile capability is gone entirely.
Now we're leaving Iran with no Navy, no Air Force, no anti-aircraft, no missile capability, no nuclear program.
Come back and chat with us.
The president is digging in on that unproven claim that vandals caused the damage at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool.
Somebody went in with a knife and cut it. They cut it up good, and then they cut a 350-foot slip in the form of lots of little slips. If you had a knife, you can't even cut it. So strong. It is beautiful, sealed.
All eyes are on New York, where the polls have just closed in several marquee primary races and what could be a major test of where the party is headed come November. I'm going to do something a little unusual here. Not many candidates are on CNN when they hear this music. But we do have breaking news, and we can now project that Brad Lander will defeat the incumbent Congressman Dan Goldman in the Democratic primary. What is your first reaction to this?
Well, thank you. First of all, obviously, I'm thrilled. I did not expect to be on air when the race was called. These are the fights that matter to us, and all I can say is I promise to go out every single day and fight for my constituents and the values that they have.
I think we had a really great meeting. For the most part, we have a really well-unified party.
Hey, Mr. Secretary, right around here. Keep going, keep going.
That he thinks he can reach that. Definitely.
Thank you so much for being here. Last week at the G7 summit, the president actually made the case for Iran to have ballistic missiles, saying that if Saudi Arabia has them, so should they. Do you agree that Iran should have ballistic missiles?
We always had a consistent position as an alliance with the United States, all the 32 nations, that Iran should never get its hand on the nuclear capability. This country exporting chaos, exporting terrorism.
So what about ballistic missiles?
I really want to focus on the nuclear capability.
I think a lot of those Republican senators thought that the president was coming in there today to give them an earful about the Save America Act. The president was much angrier about the War Powers vote that passed last night. Republicans had crossed the aisle and rebuked him, essentially, by voting for that. And so he spent the majority of that lunch focusing on the War Powers vote, getting into that shouting match with Senator Cassidy. The president is standing firm against signing that housing bill, which his own team argues would make a big difference for millions of Americans. When the president first announced that he was not going to be signing this bill today, what was your first reaction?
I thought it was some kind of joke. For the first time ever in American history, this bill says private equity, stay out. Democrats and Republicans said, here's something that would help in my community, and that's what we did.
There is a frustration the president has expressed about the unwillingness of Senate Democrats to do anything that follows common sense.
No status suit.
lovely country of Iran. It's a beautiful place. Would anybody like to go there? We're going to be taking some of their money and we'll spend it, and we're going to be buying wheat, soybeans, and corn, a lot of it.
Was more than 3 hours at the White House enough time for House Speaker Mike Johnson to convince President Trump to sign that bipartisan bill he's refusing to put his name on? Do you think United States farmers are actually going to benefit at all from unfrozen billions of dollars that could potentially go to Iran?
The president, the vice president, and their supporters are, I think the expression is, doing their best to put lipstick on a pig. The Iranian regime is not known for their truth-telling either, but no, of course they're not going to use this to strengthen the American farm sector.
The wins that we saw this week from several Democrats, including races here in New York, we've seen the response, especially more establishment Democrats were ousted in those primaries.
Inside both parties, you're going to have a more moderate and pragmatic wing, and then you're going to have some people that are a little bit explosive. For these members who have been, newly nominated to be the Democratic candidates, be bold, but remember that boldness without the action that gets you a congressional majority is worth nothing.